Thank you for joining me on another episode of Nidoqueens Corner. This is your one-stop shop for Nidoqueens Draft League coverage. The regular season has ended and we are headed into the playoffs for what is sure to be a bunch of heated matchups. But no team is hotter headed into the playoffs than the Portland Porygon. Head coach Peter has made a bunch of free agent acquisitions over the season and completely retooled this roster, now boasting a formidable Sun and Ice core. Venusaur, Torkoal, Whalgreen, and Alolan Ninetales have been giving opponents fits, and the most recent acquisition, Gastrodon, is sure to help cover Charizard. With a solid team, they head into the playoffs with their matchup against the London Lanterns. The Lanterns, led by Luke, came into this with a solid strategy, trying to use Articuno and Aurorus to use the ice to their own advantage, set their own veils, and Psychic Fang's Barrascuda to try to offset veils set by the opponent. The first matchup was taken by Peter in a pretty close game. The second match was even closer as Luke was able to pull it out with the strategy paying off. But in the end, Venusaur and Torkoal, Whalgreen, and Alolan Ninetales were just too much for this team to overcome. And Peter and the Porygon move forward with a hard 3-game match victory. They are going to move on to the second round where they're going to face Jay and the Weston Weaviles, the number 1 seed in Division 2, to see who will go to the Division 2 championship game. Let's get into the first round playoff matchup still to happen and break down what these teams need to do to try to have success to move to the second round of the playoffs. In what is shaping up to be one of the more hotly anticipated contests of the first round of the playoffs, we have the Anchorage Aggron taking on the Limerick Lightning. Rayanne was able to come out on top earlier this season in a slightly one-sided affair, and they come into this matchup with a 3-5 record. They finished 3-2 in Division 1 play, and they were able to get 32 KOs on their way to the 3 seed. Eric and the Anchorage Aggron started off relatively hot to start the season, but have slowed down significantly going into the playoffs, coming in with a 2-6 record. They are 0-5 in Division 1 play, but they were able to keep up with the KO total, only coming in 2 KOs below the Lightning. Let's look at the rosters and talk about some of the clef keys of success. So when you get into the clef key for success for these two teams, you're trying to look at the mon that means the most for these teams. And to me, that mon is Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko provides a significant difficulty for the Anchorage Aggron. They have some checks for it, but the speed tier of Koko makes it something that is a huge concern. Tornadus is also an issue, and that's what I was talking about. The top 2 threats of this team are a lot for the Aggron to get around, but if they can do it, that will be the clef key to success in this game for them. And for the Lightning, it's simply keeping your Pokemon alive and keeping the pressure up. So if they can keep Koko on the board, utilize Tornadus, keep your speed control, that is your clef key to success. Now we're joined by the head coach of the Anchorage Aggron, Eric. Thank you for joining us here. I know you're prepping for the playoff matchup, but always appreciate you taking some time out to talk to us.
Thank you for having me. It's always appreciated.
So obviously, hindsight's 2020 going to the regular season, but are there any games that come to mind, any specific plays that you can think of that you wish you could kind of have back that maybe would have changed the season, give you a little bit more momentum heading into the first round of the playoffs here?
Just one. To be honest, it was probably the first match against Jonathan and the Atlanta Absol. Underestimating Stakataka, getting the first win probably would have given the Anchorage Aggrons a better momentum going into the season. And there are a few things that I've learned over the way, and it's all learning experience getting better at this competitive game.
Absolutely. And, I obviously don't expect you to give up too much of the information going into this game, but do you feel like the preparation is there going into this matchup with the Lightning?
The preparation is there. Ray has a very strong team. Ray definitely gained some momentum coming in, and she's established herself as a very dominant force in this division, as well as going into the playoffs. As much prep as I got is there, so we're just going to go in and give it our best shot.
Absolutely. I mean, that's all you can do. I feel like, every matchup is difficult. We talked about before in the first interview that any team is capable of winning any game in this league. So, 6 seed versus 3 seed doesn't mean anything, really, when it comes down to it. I feel like your team's capable of winning. This is definitely a difficult matchup. Is there one Pokemon specifically that you're looking at that might not be thought of? Obviously you got Tapu Koko, Tornadus, Darmanitan, and Galar. Is there maybe like another Pokemon on the roster at this point, a little bit lower down, that you're kind of like, that could give me some issues?
Pokemon other than Tapu and Tornadus that are going to be a problem. Let's see what she has here. I'd say Tyrantrum, just because being as bulky as it is and how hard of a hitter it is. I do have water to take care of that, but if Tapu doesn't go down, I'm not going to have the water to back that up, and it's going to be a real hard fight to go against that.
Well, Eric, thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your time. I know you're still doing a little bit of last-minute preparation going in for the game tonight. But like I said, I appreciate you taking the time out to talk with me here. And best of luck in the playoffs. Hopefully you get a second-round matchup. But if not, keep your head up. You had a fantastic first season jumping into Draft League. And I will talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
In our second matchup, the Black City Mambas are taking on the Napa Valley Tyrants. The Mambas took Metagross with the 5th overall pick, and that has turned into a 2-6 regular season and 2-3 in Division II play. The team was able to manage 22 KOs during the regular season. They're taking on the 3 seed of Division II, the Napa Valley Tyrants, led by Marco. They finished the regular season at 4-4 with a 3-2 Division II record. They were able to rack up a good number of kills, sitting at 34 total KOs. This is going to be a tough, hard-hitting matchup, and we're going to break down the clef key to success for each team. In my opinion, the clef key to success for the Black City Mambas is mitigating the damage output from Incineroar and Moltres Galar. Moltres Galar especially does very well against 5 of the top 6 Pokemon on the Black City Mambas roster. If Moltres Galar gets going, that could be a fatal mistake for the Black City Mambas. Conversely, for the Napa Valley Tyrants, your clef key to success is letting Moltres run wild. Protect Moltres with everything you got. If Moltres goes down, you still got great threats in the back to handle it. But for me, in this particular game, the clef key to success is Moltres Galar. And the last first round matchup still to be played is one that's near and dear to my heart, as the New York Nidoqueens take on the Mystic Rebels. This is the Division 3 matchup. Division 3 was tight all season, and the Mystic Rebels come in as the 4 seed, the Nidoqueens come in as the 5 seed. The Rebels had a great season, going 5-3, but their 3 losses came in Division 3 play as they went 2-3 within the division. They racked up 36 total KOs throughout the season. Definitely a great total. At the 5 slot is the New York Nidoqueens, who finished 4-4. They finished 2-3 in Division 3 play as well. They were able to rack up 39 total KOs. This is shaping up to be a fantastic matchup, and the winner is going to take on the number 1 seed in Division 3, with Cody and the Oregon Oshawott awaiting. Best of luck to both teams tonight in the game. Looking forward to it. In our final matchup of the first round, the Tampa Bay Thunderbolts were taking on the Bayou Buzzballs. The Thunderbolts had upset on their mind as they came in after a 1-7 regular season. They were 0-5 in Division 3 play. they had picked up 22 total KOs. They picked up some good free agents across the board throughout the season and were looking to reverse their fortune going into the playoffs. They ran into a very difficult task in the Bayou Buzzwolves. They had a 5-3 regular season in which they were 3-2 in Division III play. They were able to get 38 total KOs. The Thunderbolts played very well, but at the end of the day, they were unable to best the Buzzwolves, and the Buzzwolves move forward, and they will take on the Dade County Magmar in the second round in what should be a fantastic matchup. And that is what we got for you today on Nidoqueens Corner. That was the breakdown of the games that have been played in the first round, the games yet to be played in the first round, and we have some fantastic matchups still coming, so stay tuned to that. Check out the Anchorage Aggron taking on the Limerick Lightning. We'll have the Black City Mambas taking on the Napa Valley Tyrants, and of course yours truly and the New York Nidoqueens taking on Tiago and his Mystic Rebels. Should be some fantastic matchups for everybody. And thank you for joining me on this episode of Nidoqueens Corner, and I will see you guys on the next one.